Oh, don't you? I was do one at a time, so you know which one it is.
Bah, bah.
It's for. You know it's for.
Community hosts the Peoria Rams. Peoria is 0-4 community. They 3-1 now in the conference here in North. I'm Chris Leonard, and I'm accompanied by my fellow commentator here, Brady Phelps. And we're going to give you our pregame press conference with Coach Frankenstein.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ink Spot, the Normal Community's award-winning student publication here at NCHS. Today, I'm here with head coach Mr. Jason Drangwitz. Coach, your team led 10-0 for a lot of the game on Friday, led for all but 57 seconds of the game. How would you describe the way that you guys competed on Friday?
Well, Andrew, I feel like, a lot of the things that we talked about all week, we talked about setting the tone, not settling the game, being physical for right from the jump. It felt like we did all those things. Just unfortunately, I think when we needed to execute, make plays in the second half, whether it was on special teams, offense, or defense, we didn't do it, and they did. And ultimately, that led to, a disappointing loss, for sure. But you also have to give credit to them. They're dudes, number 8, number 3, number 90. They balled out, played really, really well. It was a difference in the game. And still proud of our kids. I thought we played extremely hard. We played together. We played connected. We played for each other the whole time, and this came up a little bit short.
Yeah, losses are never easy, but you're still 3-1 overall. You're undefeated in the Big 12. What positives do you take from Friday night's game?
Well, in general, I think you can still say that all your goals are in place. You're still in position to win a Big 12 conference title, to make the playoffs, and do all those different things. Positive. I thought we played physical. I thought we really stayed together and didn't become negative with each other when there's opportunities to do that in the game. And we fought to the very, very end. I thought defensively we were lights out for 3 quarters. I thought offensively we actually ran the ball really, really well. Cole Kipketzinger ran the ball hard and played well. Luke Potts made some plays. We made a field goal again, but again, ultimately we just didn't make enough plays offensively, defensively, and special teams throughout the game to win. But it's definitely going to be a learning thing for us. I thought there was a lot of good things that we did on film, but a lot of things that we need to improve on. But I do feel that they're correctable things that we can control and can't be defined by this loss. But we do need, as I heard Brett Bielema say it after the Illinois Indiana game, you're going to be more defined by how you respond after a loss. And I think that's definitely what we have to do this week.
Yeah, can you kind of take us through how KK was able to seize momentum in the fourth and what you kind of saw unfold on those plays?
Well, I think what allowed them to seize momentum was some ineffective play on special teams. The first half, with the first kickoff of the game, we're up 10-0. We get the ball, we let the kickoff hit on the ground, we pick it up, and we get the ball at the 5-yard line. We get a first down, and we get a false start penalty. So I think some self-inflicted wounds and penalties offensively hurt us, our inability to execute special teams, and then just our couple breakdowns here and there defensively, whether it's not keeping the quarterback contained or running by a running back or not staying in your back pedal long enough. And if you allow teams with really good playmakers like 8-3 to do those things, eventually they're going to get you, and they did. But that being said, I thought, they scored to make it 10-7. We respond right away, go down and score again to make it 17-7. Felt good. And then they go on a 15-play and a 19-play drive to kind of put the game away. But it wasn't for lack of effort, lack of trying. And I think, again, if we could have got a first down here or there offensively and extended our possession with the ball, that would have helped our defense greatly. But then also defensively, we could have gotten a snap or I also thought there were some unfortunate pass interference calls that were called, but you got to keep playing.
Yeah. Talk about that pick six late in the game. It kind of sealed it. It's a tough moment for pretty much everybody involved. What's the teaching moment for what is the teaching moment for your guys?
I think the teaching moment in situations like that is, number one, you still have to execute at a high level, whether it's how you protect the route you run, where you place the ball as the quarterback, and I think there's a little bit of breakdown on all of these. The other teaching moment is that then you still got to rally and continue to play regardless, because we're still going to, if we can return the kick and score quickly, we can onside kick the ball back, and I thought our guys did a good job of handling that. They were disappointed, but they definitely weren't hanging their heads pouting, and, that was unfortunate. But that situation was a culmination of a bunch of other things, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was 10-0 at the end of 3, so.
Yeah, you guys had a ton of pre-snap penalties. Key did as well. But how do you get that cleaned up heading into this?
Well, and that's definitely my fault as the head coach. In little detail, it's executing like that, and when we don't do those things, that's on me as far as the discipline in the program and how we hold our kids accountable, set the standard that we don't do that. I think we're going to adjust some things, how we do it in practice this week. With those things, we might simplify a little bit our snap counts, but you can live with holding and pass interference calls and effort plays, but when they're mental mistakes, those just carry in, put you behind the sticks, and a couple of them we false started. The play was on first out. Then we don't snap the ball or we jump because they stay motion, but those got to be fixed because against good teams you cannot afford to do that, and that happened on Friday. It happened the Friday before, but weirdly against Normal West in the loudest atmosphere we played in, we didn't do that. So we just got to be better, and I got to make sure we take care of that on our end from a discipline standpoint.
Yeah, on third down, you guys almost exclusively threw the ball. What's the key to making those third downs more manageable so you can maybe open up the playbook a little bit more?
One, you can't get penalties and move yourself behind the stick, put yourself behind the sticks, whether it's 1st and 15 or 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10. Number two, we got to be more effective, more efficient on first down and putting yourself in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, as opposed to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and long. But then we still have play call for that, and we got to execute. But again, most people are going to see what the quarterback does, but really it's a culmination of to make those third down management. We got to protect. You got to be disciplined in how deep you run your routes, where you're at, and then the quarterback's got to execute, make his reads and throw, and all which I think we definitely can get better and need to get better at.
Yeah, when you watched the game on Friday night, or you just looked at the stat sheet, Murphy Brennan was everywhere. Can you talk about his presence defensively?
Yeah, I mean, Murphy has been, I thought he would have a good year, and he's been outstanding. And I think that goes back to how he started preparing himself in the winter. And he had a great off season in the winter, not just with doing stuff that we do after school, but all the extra stuff he was doing along with some other guys. And then on top of that, his preparation into the game plan that Coach Lowe puts together, he knows it inside and out by Monday or Tuesday. And I think when you prepare yourself physically, you prepare yourself mentally from January till now, you're going to play at a high level. And then it's just really important to him, and it means a lot to him. So really proud of him. He's been a dominant inside linebacker, in my opinion, in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you've learned a lot about yourself through 4 games. I know there are a lot of unknowns coming into the season. What will be the biggest points of emphasis in practice this week and the rest of the season?
So I think, the messaging when we meet today is, it's got to be, hey, we lost good. Good things come from losses, and everybody's got to take extreme ownership and look at themselves and what can I do to make us better. Starts with me, starts with our coaching staff, our players. I think. What was the question you asked? What was the word you asked me?
Just like in practice this week.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm Monday. I think, attention to detail. I think we got to simplify some things, maybe snap count wise, because we can't afford pre-snap penalties. We're going to handle those things a little bit differently. We're going to do things a little bit differently, how we call on plays at practice, try to get it more game-like. Same thing defensively. And then we got to put our head down and go to work and improve on all the little things. If you really watch the film in moments of where we didn't execute and make plays, it really can go back to your day one fundamentals, your stance, your eyes, your post-snap technique, your first step. All that stuff matters.
Yeah, it is the midpoint of the season. How do you use a game like this to set the tone for the rest of the year?
It's funny to use the phrase set the tone, because that was kind of our mindset going into the game this week against Kankakee, that we need to be set the tone. We couldn't just settle in. I think we can't be defined by the loss, but how we respond to the loss is going to be really important, how we practice this week. We're going to use the term good. We lost good. It's an opportunity to get better. You gave up a touchdown pass, good. Watch the film, learn from it, get better. False started, good. Learn how we can fix that, change that, turn the ball over, throw a pick. I think the mindset has to be, our response has to be, this is an opportunity to get better. We're still not the best version of ourselves. We're only 4 games into a 9-game season. There's still room to improve. And then lastly, all our goals are still in place. We can still win a Big 12 title. We can still make the playoffs. And hopefully that allows us to make a deep run. But we definitely all have to be better. And no, it's not just on the players. It's on all of us in it together. It's on me as our head coach. It's on our coaching staff. And it's every player in the program. And I have complete faith and trust that we're going to have a really good week. And we're going to bounce back. And so we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah. Moving on from Kankakee, you guys played Peoria Manual on Friday. There's no school. How do you keep your team focused against Manual, who is 0-4?
Well, if you truly are going to believe in putting your head down, going back to work, and getting better from loss, it shouldn't matter who you play or what day you play or what's going on that day. It should be about being the best version of yourself and playing extremely well. Our preparation is not going to change. How we practice is not going to change. It's going to be the same. This is the most important game because it's the next game. We want to win the Big 12 Conference. This is a conference opponent, so we need to play well. We need to see ourselves make improvements. Friday's no school. We'll get them up in the morning and bring them in, do a stretch roll run, feed them breakfast here at school at some point in time, and then hopefully keep as regular a schedule as possible. Manual does present challenge because they've got size, they're athletic, they got a quarterback that can run around and make plays. But we have to take extreme pride in doing what we do and doing it better and making improvements from last week.
Yeah, what stands out to you about Manual when you look at the film?
The structure of what they do offensively is really good. They're going to spread you out and put their athletes in space. Their quarterback can run and make plays. Their offensive line is big. They got a really good tailback, in my opinion. Defensively, they run a stack, a 3-3 stack, which is always a difficult front to go against, and they're aggressive with it. And they're not going to have anything to lose, so we're going to get their very best at our place. And I would like to still think we're one of the best teams in the conference, so it's a great opportunity for them to show who they are, and we got to make sure that we're in our best game. And we can't be defined by how we practice and how we play based on who our opponent is. We have to be defined and play and practice based on who we are and what our standard is for the program.
Coach, thank you for your time on Monday morning. Good luck on Friday.
I'd like to welcome you back to the NCHS InkSpots broadcast. We're here in North Normal for a conference matchup. Normal Community is hosting Peoria Manual. Normal Community is 3-1 and 3-0 in the conference. Peoria Manual is 0-4 and 0-3 in the conference. Manual suffered a 70-point loss to Peoria High last week, while Normal Community suffered an 11-point loss to Kankakee in heartbreaking fashion as they led most of the game. Pretty, what are the key storylines for this game here?
For this game, the Ironmen are coming off, as you said, a heartbreaking loss to Kankakee, one that they really wanted. Their only non-conference game of the year. That's one that they had circled following a loss last year, and they weren't able to get done. But they showed a lot of glimpses of hope. They led for all but 57 seconds of the game. So I think they have a little bit of sour taste in their mouth. I think they're going to try to come out here hot and looking for a statement win tonight.
As I said, Brady Ironmen looking to make a statement win tonight for sure. On the offensive side, Michael Maving is actually injured for the Ironmen, making way for Chase Caston's first career start as a wideout. So we'll see how the Ironmen look to do things without him on offense. Luke Potts has kind of emerged as the main target, but Maving still remains a downfield threat for the Ironmen. So definitely a spot to watch there. Who are 2 to 3 athletes on Normal Community who we expect to have a big day tonight?
Luke Potts, I think, will step up with the absence of Mavic. He's already been the #1 target, but as you said, he's an athlete that gets a lot of the short yardage targets, and he is a yard after the catch threat, especially when he gets blocks out for him. I think Cole Kretzinger, when he gets blocks for him, he can burst through those holes and run a couple guys over, bounce off some tackles. I'd expect a couple big runs from Cole Kretzinger. I think his offensive line should be able to move a couple guys around.
Yeah, you talk about Manuel, you talk about Tyreek Porter. He's a QB. He threw for a couple touchdowns against U-High in their opener and flashed some really good things, building his momentum from last year as he started last year as well. Mekhi Hill, he's probably Manuel's best player, I'd say. He's taking a game day visit to UT Martin tomorrow, actually, so he's seen some things in the college recruiting front. He also caught a touchdown in their win against U-High. And on the offensive line in the trenches, the guy who starts both ways for them in the offensive line and on the defensive line is Denmark Thompson. He was actually one of the linemen to watch and one of the guys in the trenches to watch by the Peoria Journal Star as Adam Duvall over there. So definitely someone who is making an impact regardless of Manuel's season or regardless of their record, and it's keeping a positive momentum forward.
Yeah, you talk about Micaiah Hill, a 6'2", 180 wide receiver with a lot of speed. Similar to Cedric Terrell last year, who the Ironmen struggled against. So I think they'll be looking to contain him and see if they can form a game plan for an athletic receiver like that and try to limit that tonight.
Yeah, it's the first year for head coach Dennis Bailey. Dennis Bailey was trying to build on some momentum from last year. They had a Week 8 game against Urbana in which they won. Their season finale was a 7-point loss to Champaign Center. So a lot of positive momentum for Peoria Mound going into this season. And they scored 22 points in the first half against U High as well. So a lot of positive momentum from them. We'll see if they can keep that up.
Sideline? Sideline report? And now our sideline report from Elijah Kondo, live now.
So, Iron, why do you go to school? Oh, she's just like better than you. Sorry. What? Yeah, do I need to get in the frame now?
That'd be good.
What?
Yes.
Okay, Arwen asked me to tell me when to go. I told him I need a signal. Yeah, just tell them to give me a signal.
Go.
Go!
Just signal me when to go. Ask them to tell you, and then you.
Can you tell me when he's ready to go? He's ready to go.
Now, he's ready to go right now.
Ready to go right now? Go. All right. I had the opportunity to speak with Coach Jingles before the game. Unfortunately, Michael Mavick is on concussion protocol. He won't be playing in this game. As for Daniel Verblitz, he'll be out for the rest of the season, most likely. But as for mindset, game plan going into this game, Coach Jingles says come out hard, set the tone, maybe just like lock in for this game. Peoria Manual, we lost last week to Kankakee, but he thinks we just come to this one, we bounce back, we lock in, we play our game, and he thinks everything will go away. Back to you.
Manuel's going to start their drive on the 20-yard line after a good kick from Will Castro. Special teams has been a point of emphasis for the Ironmen. He's going to run it. The fumble in the backfield. Oh, my God. Number 79 is going to recover that. Kellen Ogston is going to recover a fumble for the first play of the game. Manuel comes out hot. The Ironmen are going to actually get a turnover on the first play of the game after a kickoff from Will Castro, and they're going to set up shop on the 10-yard line.
It's got to be a sigh of relief for the offense, set up that close to the goal line. Hopefully they can punch it in and start off this game hot.
Yeah, we'll see what they elect to do here. Probably keep it on the ground with Cole Kretzinger. Ease Lucas Beatty into this game, but Kretzinger has been a reliable running option for the Ironmen and running threat for the Ironmen this year, so I expect to see him get the ball here. Beatty takes the snap. Jalen Smith's actually going to get the ball. He's featured on offense, and he's going to run in for the end zone. Touchdown Ironman. Jalen Smith with his first offensive touchdown of the year. He's had 3 pick sixes, but there's his first offensive touchdown for a 6-yard rushing touchdown for the Ironmen to put him up 6-0.
I think we expect to see a lot of Jalen Smith tonight on offense with the absence of Michael Mavick. He can be in the backfield, and as a wide receiver, he's a threat all around the field, and he's definitely a threat on defense. As you said, 3 touchdowns so far, all pick sixes.
Yeah, Jalen Smith's someone who we thought would be a little more featured on offense, as you said. Maybe in the receiving game, but that's actually the first carry he's gotten. He played a lot of running back. Will Castro is going to put that through for a 7-0 lead for the Ironmen to start out hot. 16 seconds into this game, the Ironmen are up 7-0 after a scoop by Kellen Ogston and a quick run by Jalen Smith. They're going to look to get Jalen Smith more featured in the offense as the season goes on. That's something the Ironmen are going to want to see a lot of this game. Quick offensive possessions, getting off the field quick on defense as well. Kellen Augston, obviously a big contributor for them. There's actually rumors of Kellen maybe moving to the offensive line a little bit.
Yeah, I heard that as well. They were looking to maybe put him at tackle this week. I think they're going to hold off on that and see if they can roll with the guys they have now. They don't really want to jumble up too many guys and have to move them around. They want to get them comfortable, especially considering a lot of penalties and holding calls and false starts that have been happening lately on the line.
Yeah, he had 15 penalties last week for Normal Community, a lot of them being pre-snap. The offensive line, probably not going to move Kellen there right now because it is Peoria Manual. Not going to risk him getting injured playing both ways, but in a game like Kankakee, we'll see. And a team with that caliber, we'll see what they opt to do with Kellen on that side of the front. Manuel's going to get this and actually take this to the 35-yard line for a decent return. Will Castro with a little unorthodox kick. Not really sure what that was right there, but
yeah, right there you saw him lined up a little differently than usual. There was actually Adler Jimenez on the field. He was the guy with the onside kick the first play of the game against Normal West. They roll out 2 kickers on there, and there's a threat for the onside kick or the bomb from Will Castro. So that really keeps the return team on their toes.
yeah, you talk about the 2-kicker kickoff. That's something Coach D wanted to implement because he does have 2 capable kickers in Adler Jimenez and Will Castro. But kind of unorthodox there because we're accustomed to seeing a bomb from Will Castro or an onside kick. So maybe just wanted to kick it not to one of Manuel's dynamic players, but Manuel's going to set up here at the 35, and Tyree Porter is going to command the Rams. Takes the snap and lobs it up. Incomplete pass, and that's going to looks like it's going to be a pass interference on Quentin Barton, rather. Mekhi Hill with the first target of the game. He's the one that we featured on the broadcast. Definitely Manuel's top target through this season.
Yeah, you saw the height there. He stands at 6'2". They tried to throw up and let him make a play, go up and over Quentin Barton. And Quentin Barton, no other choice but to put his hands on him and picked up the penalty.
Yeah, the pass interference penalties really came back to bite the Ironmen last week against Kankakee. Jalen Smith had one that was more an effort play, but Quentin Barton, the one who got nicked there, was one guy who accounted for 2 or 3 of those pass interference penalties last week. So starting the game off with 1 pass interference penalty and 1 play and 1 penalty on the defensive end is not something the Ironmen want to do, as that was a point of emphasis for them in the practice this whole week. Empty backfield here for the Rams. Tyree Porter's going to take the snap. Quick slant to number 11, Cabron Wilson for Manuel. We'll call that a pickup of 9. 2 plays and 2 chunk gains for the Rams here.
Yeah, looking at this defense, I think the Ironmen are trying to protect the middle of the field here. They stack Colton Comp and Murphy Brennan, 2 potential all-conference linebackers in the middle of the field. They look to shut that down and not really allow much of those plays the rest of the game.
Yeah, we're going to call this a get-right game for Community there, as Kamarion Coleman's actually going to get in the backfield and get a sack here. The sophomore, helped by Kellen Augston. Maybe a blitz look for the Ironmen. Kamarion Coleman coming all the way from the secondary for that one. Yeah, you talk about Murphy Brennan, Colton LeCompte. This defense is healthy right now, and they get Demarion Gardner back last week. And maybe some miscommunication, maybe settling in last week, as being that last week was their first week at full strength. But they're going to look. This is definitely a get-right game, one where they're going to want to get on the same page with everybody. As they bring up 3rd down and 5 here after a chunk play from Manuel, but a sack in the backfield. Another empty backfield look. Let's see what Manuel does here. Porter's going to drop back. Another quick slant. He's going to miss his receiver, number 2, Tink Marshall. He's going to badly miss him there. Looks like a little hitch route. Wanted to get him for short yardage, maybe in 4-down territory here. But we'll see what Manuel does here.
Yeah, I expect them to go for this, especially considering that they're already down 7-0. They're going to try to answer back. And they had a good drive going those first 2 plays. I think they have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's a team like Manuel. You come on the road in Normal Community, team that's won the conference the last 2 years. I would say this is a situation where you go for it. They're down 7-0. You're not going to win the game by punting the ball and giving the ball back to the Normal Community offense. They're going to get somebody to jump here. Looks like it's going to be the Ironmen.
Yeah, there's an offsides penalty from the Ironman. Exactly what the Rams wanted. That's not what the Ironman want to do, giving into that game plan. That's going to move the chains. Something Coach Drankwitz speaks a lot about is cleaning up those pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, second defensive drive. I forget about that first drive. The scoop from Kalinowski on the first play of the game, but 2 penalties for the Ironman. Pretty unforced. I'll take the pass interference penalty. Coach Drankwitz says he's okay with effort plays like that, but those offsides penalties, especially on 4th down, when you're really trying to get the defense off the field, that's something you're really going to want to avoid for Coach Drankwitz and the Ironman.
Yeah, tonight they want to play some mistake-free football and try to get a statement win and clean up some things that they struggled with last game.
We keep seeing the empty backfield look. We'll see if they get Tyree Porter in some design runs. We know he can run the ball a little bit. He's going to roll out to the left here to his strong side and make a play on the ball. It's going to look like it's going to be an incomplete pass intended for Mekhi Hill again.
Yeah, as you said, his strong side, he's the lefty quarterback. If you get him rolling out left, he can tuck it and run, or he can let it go. We see a lot of trips or even quadruple sets on the right. You got 4 receivers, a lot of hitch routes and go routes, keeping the Ironman coverage on their toes.
Yeah, we'll see if Mayo tries to establish the run game. I will say the Ironman's run defense was awesome last week against Kankakee. They stopped the run for the majority of the game. They gave up that 1 touchdown in the 4th quarter, but it was pretty unstoppable last game. So maybe Manuel took note of that film and is trying to get the pass game established here early. Another pass intended for Cabron Wilson. Wilson's actually going to go for the first down there. It looked really easy for the Rams right there.
Now a short yardage 3rd down play for the Rams. Maybe they'll look to go on the ground, and if they can't get it, then they'll go to there on 4th down. But they've established a passing game so far here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him let it fly again.
Yeah, Tyree Porter looks really comfortable swinging the ball down the field. That's probably the reason he has 6 or 7 passing attempts early in this game. But we'll see if they run the ball in an obvious running situation here on 3rd and 3. One running back line up the backfield. Not going to run it. Going to pass it again. Going to roll out to the left again. His strong side. And he's going to get sacked by the Ironman. Another fumble. And who's that recover? The Ironmen are going to recover that. Stand and get off the field there.
Yeah, it's Kamarian Coleman, sophomore cornerback in the backfield again for his 2nd sack of the game. That time a strip sack and headed the other way. This Ironman offense will take the field again.
Yeah, defensive back Kamarian Coleman. That's something schematically different that we've seen from Normal Community. You don't usually see cornerbacks like him in the backfield, but Kamarian really establishing himself early with his 2nd sack, as you said.
Yeah, I like sending the blitz there, especially if they're going to have the courage to drop back. If you can send it back another 5 or 10 yards and make that a 4th and 10 or a 4th and 15, that makes it a lot better. That time, it was a turnover.
Yeah, what do you think the play calling strategy is for Manuel here? I think that was 10 pass attempts on that drive. Long drive, but all passes. What do you think?
I think it's a lot of faith in their offensive line, a lot of big bodies on that line. They think they can move them around, and they did that so far, but the turnover's been costly.
And we're going to see Jalen Smith out again. Holden Baldwin's going to corral that in for a catch. Holden Baldwin takes a lot of snap in the offensive end. He's someone that Normal Community can rely on both in the blocking game. He's going to run a lot of routes for the Ironmen, but here he is getting featured early in the game against Manuel.
Yeah, it's great to see Holden Baldwin haul in his 2nd pass of the year. I mean, he's a guy that runs every right route and lays every right block, and he's been doing it all year, but now we're seeing him make big plays.
Kretzinger is going to take this one up the middle, and he might be gone. And they're going to take him down at the 30, but there you see Cole Kretzinger, his first touch of the game, and he's going to take that for about a gain of 20, give or take. We see Jalen Smith a lot in the offense here. The Ironman might be trying to get him more featured on offense. Didn't take barely any offensive snaps last week against Kankakee, but seeing him a lot more. It's good to see Holden Baldwin get featured. As you said, he's always making the right blocks, always doing the right thing. Beatty's going to give it to Jalen Smith again here for his 2nd touch of the game offensively, and he's going to be brought down by a slew of Manual defenders.
Yeah,
It's
right there you saw.
Dawson, the tackle.
Right there you saw 3 or 4 black helmets around the football, bringing Jalen Smith down. I think that's what the Rams are going to have to do tonight. They're going to have to get every guy to the football to bring these guys down, especially Cole Kretzinger if he gets a gap like we just saw.
Yeah, that's something Coach D really preaches too. You want those orange helmets all around the ball. Everybody's going to be flocking to the ball. to get those guys down. Malachi Kinsey's going to be in the backfield. They're trying a little different backfield looks. Kinsey's going to get the ball. He's going to run up the middle. He's going to get a gain of 3 or 4 there, but a lot of different backfield looks. We see in package of Cole Kretzinger, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith's already got a rushing touchdown. Kinsey there. Ironman trying some different looks here early.
Yeah, when you have that shotgun formation that Messina loves, he rarely ever goes to the under center. So when you're in the shotgun, you can put a lot of guys. You can put 4 guys in the backfield or even 5 surrounding that quarterback and setting up blocks for the running back.
Yeah, I'm old school. I like the old power eye. I'd like a fullback in there one of these days. AJ Montoya, we saw that a little bit with him. He had, I think, 5 rushing touchdowns as defensive player last year. Empty backfield for Beatty here. Gonna look to make a play. It's gonna quarterback design run. He's gonna get the first down and more. Beatty the 5, just short of the end zone there. Pylon. We'll see what they give him. It's probably gonna be spotted at the 2 or 1, but Lucas Beatty with the big running play as well. Ironman really establishing the run play early from a lot of different guys.
Yeah, right there on the big run from Cole Kretzinger and Lucas Beatty, they almost went untouched for about 20 yards. That is a lot of credit to the offensive line right there, making those gaps.
Yeah, it's good to see the offensive line finally get on the same page. We're going to see Kretzinger in the backfield this time, and he's going to get it, and he's going to run in easy. That's what we're used to seeing. Touchdown Kretzinger. And I can't say I'm surprised he's getting on the board under 6 minutes into this game. Quick drive from the Ironman there. Pretty methodical. Face a couple third downs. What you want to see in a game like this. Maybe getting in some obvious passing, obvious running situations. But the story of the game has been seeing a lot of different looks in the run game. Having a lot of different guys get carries. And it's probably the reason they're up 13-0 right now. Will Castro with the kick, and he's going to be up and good. Special teams been clean for probably 3 straight weeks here, especially in the kicking game. Kickoffs still could use some improvement, but.
Yeah, Will Castro's a guy that can kick it from 30, 40 yards, and that's not. That might seem like when you see the NFL, you see guys like Brandon Aubrey we're nearing our first 70-yard kick, but in high school, a 30, 40-yard kick is a rarity. And when you have a guy that can do that, that's extra 3 points you can put on the board when other teams are punting it.
Yeah, we got faith in him. You got Kankakee last week. I think we attempted an upper 30-yard field goal. He missed it, but it was online. I think he'd give him the opportunity again. That's just such an advantage in a big game like that against Kankakee, who is a playoff caliber opponent, and something you can use to your advantage in late October, early November, and maybe even mid-November, depending on how the Ironmen go. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we saw last year in a 52-49 victory against Prospect, the field goal was the difference.
Yeah,
put them ahead.
Exactly. The 2 kicker look again here. We'll see what they do. Here comes the onside kick, and that's going to be exactly what the Ironmen want to do, but execution's bad. It's going to be a flag. Coach Drinkwitz not happy about that one on the sideline.
Maybe a little too much juice from Adler Jimenez there, but that's only his 2nd kick of the year, and the first one was successful and flipped the script right off the bat against West. So
yeah, if you're an Ironman fan, I think you'll take the onside kick of the opening play against Norwest rather than an onside kick in a 14-0 game against Peoria Manual. It's 6 minutes left in the first quarter, but Ironman defense will be back in the field again. Still looking for that mistake-free, penalty-free drive. We still got all the starters in the field. Mitchell Potts is a guy who saw maybe more limited action than he'd want to see last week at cornerback position. He's in there. Mitchell Potts and Quentin Barton, rather, are 2 guys that are pretty equal skill sets. It's really hard to play 2 cornerbacks equal, though. You know, one guy comes in cold off the field. You don't want to just flip him in and out. So I don't think you can go wrong with the second cornerback there accompanying Micah Drankwitz in the secondary.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are 2 guys that can cover almost anybody.
And as I say that, Quentin Barton's going to come on the field for Mitchell Potts there. We'll see if the Manual Rams finally turn to the run game, and no, it's going to be a screen to Cabron Wilson for his 2nd catch of the night. It'll actually be a loss there, but Murphy Brennan on the tackle. Murphy Brennan's somebody who was everywhere last weekend. Coach T talked to us in the interview on Monday about how big his presence is on the defensive end, both being a vocal leader, leading by example. He's somebody who Coach T thought would have a big year, but has come on the scene more than he thought. So Murphy Brennan definitely an anchor of that defense, someone who will no doubt be on the first team all-conference team. So great to see Murphy Brennan with a breakout year. Porter's going to line up in the backfield. That's going to be Mekhi Hill targeted again. He's working east-west, and it's going to be Kellen Augustin on the tackle, I believe.
Yeah, it was good to see the Ironmen. They showed a blitz, and they went with it. Murphy Brennan and Colton LeCompte, 2 middle linebackers filling those gaps. And sometimes when they blitz and there's a screen pass, you only have 2 or 3 guys on the edge, and it's tough for those linebackers to get back out there after going into the backfield. But that was great to see all the hats get to the ball and bring him down for a loss, a big loss.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Manuel's 0-4, but this is still a good look for our defense. You got Tyree Porter. We've seen he's confident in throwing the ball downfield, as we've seen so far with all these pass attempts. Mekhi Hill is probably an all-conference receiver, so he's going to drop back to pass again and feature another receiver, Xavier Williams. That's going to be incomplete, but spreading it out a lot here so far. Mekhi Hill is obviously the number 1, as we said, but they're confident in throwing the ball, and we'll see how their special teams fares here on a 4th and 17. Something that the Manual Rams are going to want to have to be clean in a 14-0 game if they want any chance to stay in this one.
Yeah, and here they are forced to punt. That's key for the Ironmen to get the defense off the field. The Rams are pretty short on players, only about 25, so they'll be worn down if that Ironman offense stays on the field for as long as it has been.
Yeah, look for Luke Potts to get a chunk return here. I remember Marquand Gary in some of these conference games. He would get the ball and maybe take it to the house. But Luke Potts is showing shades of him this season as a punt returner and a kick returner. It's going to be a timeout, Rams. They're going to want to set this up. I think Manuel knows the importance of how important it's going to be to have their special teams be clean here. You don't want another turnover like they had on their first drive to set up normal, have a 1 or 2 play drive and get in the end zone here. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, as we step aside for a timeout, Green Gables is back and better than ever at Lake Bloomington, serving up world-famous smash burgers cooked to order from 11 to 9 every weekday of the week. A family-friendly atmosphere, legendary flavor. If you want to go sit down and eat at Green Gables, for more info, visit greengablesgrill.com.
Love Green Gables.
Just a great spot to eat.
Love Green Gables.
After a day out on the lake, always a great spot to stop.
Always a good spot. The Rams are definitely going to punt here. We'll see what they have in their special teams department. But take the snap. Well, nearly blocked by the Iron. Might have even been tipped. Luke Potts is not going to field that one. Not a bad punt. They're going to be set up inside their own 35. Not bad field position of the Rams. Could have been a lot worse, in my opinion. This is going to be a flag in the field.
We had like 3 ads last week. We just didn't have ads this week.
It's holding on the Ironman. I think they'll be after the play, and the Ironman will still take over on offense here on the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you know, the Ironmen are up 14-0, but one of the objectives of this game is to really clean up the penalties, as we've said. So playing a clean game is almost as important as winning this game, and the Ironmen are not executing that this far. Maybe some of those out of their control, but you see that offsides, you see that hold. These seem like controllable penalties related to that pass unrelated to that pass interference. I can live with that pass interference, but 2 of those penalties that you just can't afford in games like Kankakee.
Yeah. You can afford them when you're up 14-0, but in a non-conference game or a playoff game, you can't have that. So they want to clean that up ASAP.
Here comes Jalen Smith in the backfield. Again, he's going to get the carry. He's going to run the out left. He's got a big hole, and Jalen Smith might be gone, folks. He's inside the 40. Oh, he's going to lose the ball. He's going to recover. That's going to be – Jalen Smith still got the ball, but we'll take that. But he's going to set up inside the 32 after a scare with the football.
Yeah, it looked like he and this play's going to be headed back the other way. A flag on the play on the Ironman, a holding call. And that's tough to see with a big run like that. As you talked about, those penalties have been setting the Ironman back.
I will say I'm just as excited as you are that Jalen Smith's getting featured in the offense a lot, but you got to think of keeping these guys healthy. Jalen Smith's so important to what we do on defense. I love to see him getting featured in the offensive line. I think it's something we need to do, but just want to be as careful as possible.
Yeah. I bet he's a little angry that run didn't count. Probably he's still in the backfield. He might get it again. Might go right back to him.
I think I would do that if I were the Ironman too. That's going to go right back to him the opposite way this time. He's going to have another hole, and that's going to be about a 9-yard gain for the Ironman. Jalen Smith was a running back his freshman and sophomore year. He switched to receiver right before his junior season and made an impact there last year. But you see the instincts, you see the burst, and finding those holes, some of those things that are really essential for a running back. And Jalen Smith has them all. He's going to line up at wide out here. Empty backfield for Lucas Beatty. I'd like to see him work through a progression, maybe hit a guy here on 2nd and 1. He's going to have Luke Potts over the middle, and Luke Potts is going to find that for about a 15-yard gain. That's something we've gotten really accustomed to seeing. Luke Potts in the middle of the field from Lucas Beatty.
Yeah, we've seen a lot from Luke Potts. Is he finds the holes and he sits there, he sells. He doesn't get antsy. If Lucas Beatty's under pressure, he stays right there. If he has a hole in the defense, he's going to stay there, and he's going to be a safety blanket for Beatty.
Yeah, dare I say Luke Potts reminds me of Cooper Kupp a little bit. He finds the soft spots in the defense, kind of sits there, and he's really instinctual and can run after the catch. This is going to be Malachi Kinsey on the carry. He's moving. He's going to go right into that hit, and that's going to be about a 7-yard gain. A flag after the play. That might be on the manual.
Yeah, we now see 3 different running backs get carries: Jalen Smith, Cole Kretzinger, and Malachi Kinsey. Great to see that type of variety in the backfield, and it keeps those legs fresh. And you can set up a really threatening run game if you have 3 guys that can take the ball and run with it.
Yeah, you talk about multiple running backs. You got to talk about the Detroit Lions. You got Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery. They actually call him Sonic and Knuckles. That's the best running back room in the league, and they might even call it the best running back room of all time when it's all said and done with those 2 guys. Brady, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best running back duo in the league. You got the Seahawks. You got Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. 2 great guys. You know.
I'll take that. I mean,
They're up
I would
there.
say Jahmyr Gibbs and D-Mont, they combined for 52 fantasy points. Maybe we'll start to see that out of the Ironman's running back room. Luke Potts is going to be on the left side. That's going to be a great throw by Beatty right there. Luke Potts with the reception, but great catch, great throw by Lucas Beatty. Something I really want to see out of him is lofting that ball up, working through his progressions, and finding guys like Luke Potts down the field.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of those long throws from Lucas Beatty, but that one was right in the breadbasket. I mean, right in the hands of Luke Potts, and that was great to see.
Yeah, I think he's definitely has the potential to be a downfield throwing threat, and I just think he's got to get the confidence to do it. Cole Kretzinger is going to run the ball here, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Ironman. Let's see where they spot him. Not a touchdown, excuse me. Sorry, he was in there. A little premature there. I'm used to seeing Cole Kretzinger get in the end zone with these.
Yeah, those goal line runs have been seemingly effortless. For
Yeah,
Iron.
they're going to get it. What are they going to give him here?
Call him down at the 1. Might go right back to him here, go no huddle.
Well, hurry up offense. Cole Kretzinger in the backfield. This ball's going to go to Cole Kretzinger.
I think so.
Hot take.
And there it is.
And there it is. Cole Kretzinger is going to run in the end zone. And then touchdown Ironman. Going to go up 20-0 here with just under 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And that's going to be Cole Kretzinger's 2nd rushing score of the game. I talk about keeping Jalen Smith fresh for the defense. Then you also got to talk about keeping Cole Kretzinger fresh. That's probably why you've seen 2 or 3 running backs for the Ironman so far. There's nothing Cole Kretzinger has to prove in this game. I think the Ironman know they can use different running backs to still establish the run game. Keep him fresh for a big Bloomington game next week. Bloomington's probably going to come in there undefeated.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I'd expect them to install some new plays that they can show against Bloomington in this game. Try to get those guys comfortable with those formations and personnel.
Yeah. You know, they reached pretty deep in the playbook in week 2 against Northern West. We saw some trick plays. We saw that play that they call the ISU play that ISU actually ran the next day in their game. But that was the trick play. That was Luke Potts to Michael Mavick to start the game off against Northern West. But, you know, intercity rival next week, Bloomington, you're probably going to see them reach deeper into the playbook just as they did with Northern West. And just as you said, getting those different looks, maybe those different packages with different running backs and guys that can really be featured offensively.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with this offense tonight. We're seeing the offensive line that showed a lot of emotion with those penalties last week. I think they're fired up, and they're just straight up angry tonight. They're pushing guys around, and Lucas Beatty's gone untouched tonight, and he's been able to air it out and get those downfield passes that we've been waiting to see.
Yeah, that's not to say Emmanuel's not gifted in the trenches. They have that O-lineman / D lineman, Denmark Thompson, who is viewed as a top 25 Peoria player to watch by the Journal Star. He's no slouch in the line, so Manuel's got guys, and here comes the onside, fake onside kick, and Will Castro's going to boom that, go to about the 20-yard line. There's a tackle from Colin Kerfoot. But definitely experimenting with the two-kicker kickoff. That's a look we haven't seen, the fake onside to the long kick.
Yeah, you see Coach Drankwitz shaking his head there on the sideline. I think he's a little disappointed with the field position they've been given Manuel. They've been set up at the 30, the 40, and close to the 50 tonight. I think they want to clean that up on the kickoff.
You have to think that might have been an improvised move there. I'm not sure. Yeah, the two kickers out there. We'll see. He's talking to Will Castro. Gave him as a little talk, but Will Castro's going to shake his head as well. Not sure what's going on down there, but all I know is that Manuel's getting great field position every time we kick the ball. Porter's going to take the direct snap. He's going to run it. He's got a hole, and he's going to get the first down and more. Tyree Porter, someone we said can really impact in the running game as well as the passing game. And he's going to get a chunk play there for about 15 yards.
Yeah, I mean, if you just turn on the tape, you see Tyree Porter, he has dance moves. I mean, he dances around defenders. He can juke out anybody on that field.
No, he does have dance moves. In their 24-14 loss against Richwoods, they were competitive in that game. Tyree Porter had a rushing touchdown earlier in that game in that first half. He's got dance moves, as you said. He's going to find a hole, and he's going to – give it to Porter again. Porter's going to run it just the opposite way this time. Not going to find a hole there, but Ironman defense. About 4 Ironman helmets to the ball there.
Yeah, it's Kamarian Coleman on the tackle again. He's been everywhere, flying around this field. It's great to see from a sophomore.
Yeah, Kamarian Coleman, that's 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and another tackle. So maybe we'll give him a tackle for loss there, but he's been everywhere. He's someone that Coach D really saw something in. Murphy Brennan said that he could be a Division I type player when he's a junior and senior. He has really high praise for him. Guys in the defense have a lot of praise for him. He'll get a lot more comfortable as the season goes on. Weeks 1 through 9, he's been thrown into the fire week 1. So maybe seeing that jump a little bit here and that breakout here in week 5. Ironman defense is going to get pressure in the backfield. That's Murphy Brennan. And great coverage there with Mitchell Potts. That's a great play on the ball. Perfect timing. No pass interference. That's exactly what we'd like to see out of the Ironman corners.
Yeah, it's a veteran move right there. Perfect timing, as you said, on that hit. Not going too early, not getting the pass interference. It's an improvement from the last downfield pass we saw.
Yeah, you talk about Mitchell Potts, Quentin Barton, 2 guys that really can make plays and are great in coverage, great with pass breakups, can really be impactful. So something we've really seen from Mitchell Potts through the season here. Obvious passing situation here for Manuel. 3rd and 9, Tyree Porter. I'm going to say they're going to pass this. They've gotten a little creative with the running, but it's all been through Tyree Porter. He's the center of this offense. He's going to drop back here. And a screen pass here to Tink Marshall, and he's going to be short of the first down. But good execution from Manuel nonetheless, sir.
Yeah, it was another example of, again, has the ball. He shook off 1 tackle, and the rest of the game was there to shut him down. And that's good to see on a screenplay like that. You need everybody getting there.
Yeah, Tink Marshall's the running back 1 for this offense. We haven't seen him get 1 carry yet. We've seen Tyree Porter with 2 carries. But Tink Marshall's been featured in the passing game. Obviously, that's Manuel's identity. A lot of pass, more pass, and even more pass from the Manuel's offense so far.
Yeah, all shotgun, run with it or gun it.
4th and 4. Maybe a design run here for Porter, but I'm going to take a guess they're going to throw the ball down the field here. Ironman defense is going to stand strong. Trying to hard count them potentially here. They're going to take the timeout.
Timeout, Rams.
If I were Manuel, I would do the exact same thing. The Ironman defense has struggled with penalties, struggled with offside, still on that first drive even.
Yeah.
Good decision by the Rams there.
They're going to take what they can get. If they can get an offsides, they're going to move those chains effortlessly. But I think they'll bring the offense back out and try to get some points on the board before the second quarter.
Parents, alumni, local fans, this is your chance to support community journalism. Visit nchsinkspot.com and make a donation to help keep student journalism strong. A link to donate is located on each and every one of our articles. Please support the Ink Spot.
Yeah, if you go to nchingspot.com, you can see more football coverage, interviews with Coach Strangwitz, inside look at the football team, and some preview and recap articles published by myself and Andrew Nauer every week.
We've got a little diversity in the Ink Spot as well. Arwen, one of our fellow Ink Spotters, published a movie review article from each of the staff members. If you're interested in movies, I would definitely give that a read. It's a great read for me as well.
Yeah.
Manuel's going to set up here. 4th and 4. Porter's going to drop back to pass. No surprise. And that's going to be picked off by Colton LeCompte right into the hands. He's going to be taken down. This is danger zone for Manuel. I think they had to score on that drive there to keep this game within reach. But now it's 21-0. The Ironmen's got the ball in their own territory after a Colton LeCompte interception. And the Ironmen are pretty happy with how they played defensively so far.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a film study from Colton LeCompte. He knew right where to be. It's like he knew that play better than the Rams, and he was right where he needed to be and picking that off. Colton LeCompte and Murphy Brennan, they sit down the IMC together, 2 middle linebackers, and they watch film more than anybody I know. I think that's a focal point of this defense is film study for them.
Yeah, that's what makes the loss last week sting so much because, this team is really intentional in how they prepare, how they watch film, how they go about practice on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They really felt that they game planned for Kankakee, had a perfect first half, did exactly what they wanted to do, but just didn't play quite as well in the fourth quarter as they needed to. But this team really has a lot of attention to detail. Cole Kretzinger is going to get the carry there, just short of the first down. Like to keep Cole's legs fresh. We'll probably see a few more of those carries, and he'll be out of the game soon here.
Yeah, we'll probably see a lot of Malachi Kinsey, talented young running back for the Ironmen. See if he can take the keys next year and keep this tradition of amazing running backs. I mean, you look at the history, you got the 2 Taylor brothers, Chris and Kalen, Tommy Davis, and now Cole Kretzinger. We'll see who's up next.
Yeah, keeping that normal community pipeline running backs. It's gonna be big to put on Malachi Kinsey's shoulders, but I think he can handle. We've seen what he has. He has some bursts in the games that we've seen. He got a lot of action against Richwoods. Got a lot of action against Urbana as well. Had a touchdown in that game. But yeah, Kinsey's looked good so far, and I'd like to see him get featured and get his feet wet in this game. See if we can use him next week against Bloomington as well.
Yeah, and in that running game, the Ironmen will be losing 4 offensive linemen. So if they can keep that culture up and keep pushing guys around and creating those holes for those great running backs, that would be great to see. I mean, we know we're in the weight room all winter. Every weekday they're in the weight room getting stronger and getting bigger. So if they can keep that tradition up and get some bodies on that line, I think Malachi Kinsey will be a great running back these next years.
Let's see if we can get a Lucas Beatty a shot in the pass game here. Empty backfield in motion. He's going to look to get the ball to Chase Caston. Caston's going to haul that in for about a first down. He flagging the play.
Yeah, Chase Cass getting the ball there. He didn't shy away from contact, lowering the shoulder. He's a basketball player, but there was no draw on the foul there. He was searching for contact.
Yeah, Chase Caston's a guy they really like his frame. He's about 6'4". They really like his potential. That's probably why he's on the varsity level this year, seeing a lot of action. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of burst as right now as a sophomore, but they like what he can be in the next couple of years.
Yeah, he's a big frame, a big target for Lucas Beatty. He might be looking to next year and this year.
Yeah, we just want to keep him healthy through the basketball season.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Kretzinger's going to get the carry. He's going to bounce off him here. He's like a raging bull. Oh, my gosh, he's slippery. He's going to take it all the way, bouncing off a couple tackles, and maybe they're going to spot him on the one there. Another time where he's spotted on the one, but Cole Kretzinger, in the word of Jim Matson, is slippery.
Yeah, we saw that there. He did a full 360 on that, slipping away from the defenders there. There's a flag on the play. I think he's praying this doesn't head back the other way. He's hoping to stay on the one.
There's been some conflicting opinions about Cole Kretzinger's running style. Some people have called him slippery. Another person's called him a raging bull. They don't like the slippery.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a compliment.
Why can't he be both?
I think he can.
Why can't he be both?
I don't know. We can find some middle ground, but I think it's a compliment to him. I mean, journalists are at a loss for words of how to describe how good Cole Kretzinger is and how much he's burst on the scene here. And that flag will go on the Rams, moving the Ironmen even closer to the goal line here.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say the ball is going to Cole Kretzinger right here.
Yeah, I think he's hungry for a second touchdown.
Or the third touchdown, maybe.
Third touchdown.
You lose track when it's Cole Kretzinger. Another flag on the play here. Maybe an iron. Something we've got really used to saying the past couple weeks. False start on the Ironman. Not sure how that happened. Are you sure? You know, Brady?
Yeah, I don't know. It was following a penalty they had a lot of times set up. I just got an antsy. I know they get excited on the goal line and ready to run a guy over.
Did you see movement there?
I don't think I did, but
I don't even think Lucas Bay was ready for the ball.
no. Maybe not getting set at the right time.
Lucas Bay is going to roll out right here and find Holden Baldwin for the touchdown reception. That's Baldwin's first touchdown reception of the year. Great throw, great route, and touchdown Ironman.
Yeah, we see Holden Baldwin getting his second catch of the game, and it's a touchdown this time. He's right up there with Luke Potts with 2 catches tonight. He's burst on the scene with the absence of Michael Mavick. He's filling in just right. And that is 6 on the board for the Ironman. And Holden Baldwin's first touchdown of his high school career. Great to see.
Yeah, we talked about Holden Baldwin just putting his head down and doing the right things for the Ironman and really getting rewarded for it here tonight. And that could be an omen for maybe the rest of the season. Reed Hoover's a guy last year who maybe wasn't as featured much early in the season, but we saw him late in the season in games like Mount Prospect, Mount Carmel. He caught touchdowns from Kyle Beatty, emerged as a safety net beyond Marquand Gary and Michael Mavick. So Holden Baldwin's maybe not the obvious 1 or 2 receiver, but is a reliable number 3 receiver who can really emerge for this offense and follow that Reed Hoover type track.
Yeah, he's putting his head down and doing everything he can. He's doing everything right, and he hasn't complained once about how many targets they're getting or how many receptions he's getting. That hard work and resilience has paid off tonight.
You know, sometimes you want your wide receivers to be a little bit of divas, though.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you see Malik Neighbors. He's a wide receiver for the New York Giants.
yeah.
He's awesome, but he's also a diva. Maybe that's why he's so good.
Yeah, we don't want to see any A.J. Browns out here demanding the ball.
Maybe we wanted that, though.
It's great to see some selflessness on the high school level, and especially when you got 3 guys like Potts, Mavick, and Baldwin. Look to spread it out.
Yeah.
Everybody eat.
Adler Hammond is not on the field for this kickoff. 2-kicker kickoff is being abolished for this kickoff here. Coach D had seen enough of that, as Will Castro is just going to kick it far, and that's he's gonna take that out. I'm not sure what the thinking there is. He's going to get taken down at about the 10. I would have let that go, but maybe the manual player saw a hole.
It's Tink Marshall taking that out, trying to get any points on the board here and have a big play any way they can. There's a player down on the field, can't quite see who.
It's going to be for the Ironman. Trainer's rushing out. Still don't have a read on who that is.
As soon as we know, we will let you know. It's Colin Kierfoot getting off on his own feet, walking off on his own power.
Oh.
That's good to see, and he's even running now.
Great to see for the Ironman. Colin Kerfoot's really, really important to what they do defensively.
Yes, he is. He's everywhere.
He even got some of the Cedric Tillman assignment last week against Kankakee. Someone they've really depended on through the first 4 weeks of the season. We're just going to hope he's okay. It's one of the games where you just want everybody to get out healthy. It's 28-0. We got 11 minutes left in the second quarter. a guy like Colin Kerfoot getting injured on special teams is one of your worst nightmares if you're the Ironman. Manuel's going to set up on their own 15 here. I'm going to take a guess and see we're going to see more pass plays. Tink Marshall's their running back one, as we've said, but here we go with an empty backfield again for Manuel.
Yep, more of those trips to the left of Porter. Set
If
up.
their drives were long, and I think Tyree Porter might set the record for pass attempts and a half. Here comes a running back in the backfield. Porter takes a snap, and as I say that, Manuel is going to be running but be met in the backfield by a slew of Ironmen. I believe that's Murphy Brennan in the tackle. It was not Tink Marshall who got the carry there. I believe that was Darius.
Nonetheless, a stop from the Ironmen, and they've been able to stop that run. I think maybe Peoria Manuel was taking a look at what they were able to do against Kankakee and stop that run, and against Peoria Richwoods, Urbana, and Normal West, and shy away from that.
Porter's going to roll out left. Targeting great coverage from Micah Dranglitz, rather, right there. Targeting Xavier Williams, guy who already has a reception. They're spreading it out pretty evenly so far. They got Makai Hill, who's an established wide receiver one for Manuel so far, but they're spreading it out.
Yeah, it was the first target Micah Dranglitz's way. It took about 15 minutes of game time for him to be targeted, and that's one of the biggest comments as a corner, that the quarterback won't even look your way. That means you're really playing shutdown D, and there he gets the job done. An incompletion. There's a flag on the play, but it's on the Rams. I think a holding. Going to put them even further back in their own territory.
So you talk about cornerbacks having quiet games. If you're having a quiet game, that means you're having a great game. I think Micah Dranglitz, ever since that interception in week one, has had quiet games, but that really just speaks to what he's done and been able to do in the secondary for the Ironmen. Had some tough kick-a-key matchups last week, but did a great job with those. His second test, he had a test with Ace Hawks in week one. Ace Hawks only had 2 catches in that game. As Ironman defense is going to meet Darius Nickerson. And that's going to be a tackle for loss. Places the Rams at about the 5. Chase Sweden with a tackle there.
Yeah, he's coming off a broken middle finger. He's got that club off, so maybe he'll gain some speed and have a little less weight on him, holding him down tonight.
Not sure what Micah Dranglitz is doing here.
He's hyping up the sideline. He wants to see more energy. He knows it's a 28-0 ball game, but these guys need to be ready to go and have max energy at all times.
Well, let's just see that out of Dranglitz. The 3rd and 19, you're up 28-0, 9 minutes left in the second quarter, but you're looking at your sideline hyping him up. That's true. As Tyree Porter is going to spike that in the ground. It's going to bring up 4th and 19 for the Rams.
Looks like the punt team's coming out here. He's going to try and get this punt off without it being blocked and being 6 for the Ironman. That's the main goal here for the Rams.
This is danger zone for the Rams.
It is.
The ball's in the 6. To execute this punt with the great special teams is hard. The Rams definitely don't have a great special teams. Had a little trouble punting the ball even at midfield last time, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to look to block it here, bring some pressure. Chase Sweden is along with a lot of other guys that we'd like to see get a lot of time tonight as the flags in the field. Chase Sweden come up big with that tackle there on that drive, but that's going to put the Rams back even farther.
We're not set there. It's going to put them on the 1 now, I believe. And the Ironmen have 8 guys set up on that line. They're hungry for a block, and maybe one of these kickoff block guys get a touchdown here.
Luke Potts is actually set up inside the 30. I think the Ironmen will have great field position either way. We'll see what happens. They're going to somehow get that off. It's not going to be a far punt. And Luke Potts is going to actually take that out. And he's going to walk into the end zone. Luke Potts with his first touchdown of the night. And just what the Rams might have feared there is a touchdown for the Ironmen on that play. Luke Potts in the end zone, something we've been really accustomed to seeing I think that marks his 5th straight game with a touchdown.
Yeah, I believe so. I think he's really used to getting touchdowns here. Like him on my fantasy team, if that was allowed in high school.
I don't think we're not doing fantasy in high school. That's gonna break some rules.
No, yeah, definitely not.
I'd pick up Holden Baldwin after this week, though.
I would. He'd be a waiver wire trending wide receiver. With the absence of Mavic, he's stepping up here, getting a lot of targets and a touchdown.
Holden, yeah, I know. He's a guy who does all the right things. I might put the claim in for him. If I'm a team at the bottom of the league, maybe 0-3 here, Holden Ball would be a guy. But yeah, that's why they don't allow fantasy in high school.
Yeah.
So probably good. This is a 35-0 game for the Ironmen. Exactly what they wanted. Maybe 3 or 4 penalties that they'd want back, but overall pretty clean game. Something that they've set out to do this week, and they're executing really well here.
Yeah, all 3 phases firing on all cylinders tonight. You got the special teams, defense, and offense really complement each other, setting each other up, and complimentary football here. It's great to see after a loss last week. A real bounce back, 35-0 with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
I think why maybe Ironman fans, Ironman players were so upset about the loss last week is because Kankakee is one of the only remaining opponents in the schedule that represents a real playoff test for the Ironmen. They have played Peoria, they have Bloomington. But my plea to Ironman fans is that you don't have to be worried. We were 8-1 last year. We were able to still make a deep run in the Elite Eight, only fall to eventual state champion by 7 points in the Elite Eight at Mount Carmel on the road. So even though we lost, but I think we can take – that's still a great learning experience. And as Coach D said, we can take a lot of great things from that loss.
Yeah, it was great to see that kind of talent this early on. A 6A powerhouse. It is just like a 7A top contender right with them. And, yeah, as you said last year, that was the Ironman's only loss, and they had a just fine postseason run, almost beat Mount Carmel, the eventual state champions, and number 1 ranked 8A team this year. So not a lot to worry about, even though they did drop their first loss of the season last week.
Yeah, unfortunately, in our inaugural pregame coverage that we conducted, which may be making an appearance later in the season, who knows, our keys to the game for the Ironmen, or maybe the keys to the game for Kankakee was to establish Cedric Tillman. He was able to be established. They kept him down for a lot of the first half, which is why they were able to have success, and even into that third quarter, but he had 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and that is just not a recipe for success for the Ironmen, and that's the reason they lost.
Yeah, I think when playoff time comes and they see a receiver like that now, they'll know what to do, and they'll have a game plan set up for that and how to limit that. So it's good they got that out of the way.
Ironman battled some penalties on that kickoff there. Something they want to clean up, but
And the Rams will take over on the 20-yard line here. 8 minutes remaining.
there's a run game being featured. That's the Rams' 5th carry. 2 from Tyree Porter and the 3rd from Darius Nickerson. Take Marshall seeing less running game action than he's seen in the past, but we've seen him being featured in the past game. It's 35-0 for Manuel. I think we're past danger zone. I think this game's out of reach.
Yeah. I think we'll see the second strings come in either this drive or the next. See some new faces out there.
Already seen some new faces. That's Truett Meredith in the secondary. Some guy we haven't really been accustomed to seeing a lot.
Yeah, it's a junior that will be filling in for some of the seniors that will be graduating. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do, make a name for himself.
Yeah, Chase Sweeten's out there with the first teamers again. He's a guy who also puts his head down, does all the right things, goes to the workouts. We're gonna put him from the secondary again. Here's another flag. False start on Manuel.
Seen a lot of dirty laundry on Dick Tharp Field the past 2 weeks. A lot of yellow on the field.
Doesn't make for great football. Not a
No,
great
it
viewing
doesn't.
experience.
No, it doesn't.
There are a lot of complaints about the student section last week, and rightfully so, I'd say.
Yeah, they were a little put to sleep by the penalties. You know, if you get a quick, fast pace, fast-moving game. That's how they get into it and get rowdy.
Which is understandable, but you gotta think that the student body can show a little more support. And some of those third, fourth downs late in the game, you look up from the student section. There's a lot of faces that aren't really in the game, maybe having some different conversations. So maybe we can plead for the student body to be a little more in the game when we have an opponent like Kankakee at Dick Tharp Field in the next time. Murphy Brennan's going to hawk down Tyreek Porter there for a tackle for loss. There's Murphy Brennan's speed and strength on display yet again.
Yeah, you saw breakaway speed from Tyreek Porter. He got away initially, but Murphy Brennan eventually getting to him. He hung in there right with him, and he's got about 50, 70 pounds on Tyreek Porter, but it didn't matter. He was moving just as quick as him.
That's 60, 70 pounds there.
Yeah.
It's Adrian Ramirez on the defensive line for the Ironmen. Seen time on and off, but
we've seen a lot of movement on that interior defensive line. You've seen Mason Caraway go in and Brady Wolf, both offensive linemen, but Adrian Ramirez, great to see him out there. A true
you talk about
line.
a lot of guys in the interior defensive line and the interior and the offensive line as well as Tyree Porter. I was faked out by that. I thought the ball went to Darius Nickerson on the outside, but Tyree Porter is going to be the ball carrier. He's being met right at the line of scrimmage. Kellen Augustin the tackle there. Kellen Augustin obviously makes massive impact for the Ironmen. He has a fumble recovery. He was all-conference last year. Brady, can you talk about what Kellen Augustin means to this defense?
Yeah, Kellen Augustin is a big body in the middle. He stuffs the run, and you see him shut off blocks very easily. And he can get that first contact, and then there's Murphy Brennan and Colton McComb following him up and bringing him down. You see Demarion Gardner working on the edge. He's got a lot of speed. He's worked on that speed over the offense.
Tyree Porter's going to get the ball. He's going to fake Kamarion Coleman out, but Kamarion Coleman's still going to make a great play on the ball. Kamarion Coleman in the backfield again.
Yeah.
Great night for Kamarion Coleman. He's got 1 tackle for loss, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery as well. That's a flag. That's on Manuel.
Yeah, we're seeing Kamarion Coleman in the backfield. Some more secondary blitzes from defensive coordinator Coach Logue. Maybe he's showing them a couple new schemes. When you're up 35-0, you can install some new looks, get them ready for Bloomington.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Bloomington, they've got running backs. I think like first-year starting quarterback Keontae Hamilton. He's a guy he's a first-year starter, but he looks like a natural back there. He's got a lot of confidence. I think he said in an interview this past week with Jim Madison that it doesn't matter what his size is, he's going to have the most confidence in the field no matter what. And Bloomington's going to pose a threat. They're probably going to be 5-0 after this week, if all goes right. And they beat West last weekend and come from behind win. Able to stop some of West's skill players. You talk about West, Mulbauer, Givens, but Bloomington's going to pose a challenge for Normal Community at Dick Tharp Field next week.
Yeah, they took care of West, and as you said, first-year quarterback, putting up 31 points on the normal West defense.
Yeah, last year when we went to Bloomington on the road, I think A.J. Codron put on a surgical performance for the Raiders. We were really impressed with him and what he was able to do. So offensively, I think the Raiders get their quarterbacks ready for the challenges that are to come. And even though Bloomington lost that game, we're really impressed with him and impressed with Bloomington's offense and the way they compete as a whole.
See Luke Potts let that one go. I think he's had enough of the ball tonight. He's got his touchdown.
They're going to be at their own 47. You got to think this might be the last drive for Lucas Beatty and company.
Yeah. Oh, you see him on the field still.
Yeah.
Maybe get a touchdown for Chase Casson. You got Baldwin on the board. You got Luke Potts on the board. Maybe we'll see another touchdown.
I wouldn't mind getting Holden Baldwin on the board. That might drive his fantasy stock up a little too much, though. I want to keep him as an under-the-radar waiver wire guy. But here comes Malachi Kinsey in the backfield. A 2 running back look yet again. And lined up on the outside with Luke Potts, Chase Casson, and Holden Baldwin. Spade's going to take the snap, and Kinsey's going to get the ball. He's going to run to the right. He's got a hole. That's a great block there by Cole Kretzinger. And he's going to make it all the way to the 25, but Cole Kretzinger with a selfless block. That really embodies his team's culture.
Yeah, it does. The 2 running backs feeding off each other, blocking for each other. That's great to see. And it really doesn't matter who's running the ball. These running backs are not being touched. These blocks have been setting up massive holes for the Ironmen to run through.
Yeah, you talk about Cole Kretzinger, 35-0. He's got 2 touchdowns in the night, but he's not getting the ball, but he doesn't care. He's going to go and block, and here he gets the ball. He's going to run right up the middle and untouched for about 10 yards, and he's going to break a tackle
Breaks about
and
2
find
tackles.
the end zone. 2 plays and 6 points for the Ironmen. Malachi Kinsey, followed by Cole Kretzinger, and the Ironmen are up 41-0.
Yeah, and when you can go 10 yards untouched and then break a tackle or 2, that's a recipe for a touchdown right there.
Yeah, you talk about this line playing angry after a lackluster performance last week.
Yeah, you see them fired up there. They're banging against each other, giving each other fist bumps, chest bumps, all the above. They're really happy with their performance tonight.
I have to say, I hope we don't run it up like Peoria High did to Manual last week.
we
They
do
scored
now.
76 points last week.
We do now have a running clock with a 40-point lead. So maybe this is when we'll see the second and third stringers go in. A lot of new faces. We'll hope to see some juniors and some sophomores maybe go in. Take a look at the future for the Ironmen, per chance.
Maybe we'll see Coach Shanklin calling some plays on the side.
Yeah, Coach Shanklin.
I don't know.
Coach Shanklin, a senior at Norm Community, is taking over as coach. He's done a great job at showing the signals and making some play calling.
Yeah, he's a culture guy. Gavin. He's great vibes.
Great
whether it's in the
locker room guy.
football team, he's the coach, or he's on the lunch table during 4th hour. You can't say enough about Gavin Shanklin.
He's got a contagious laugh. That is for sure. A contagious smile, and he just brings a great spirit to the sideline, the lunchroom, the hallways, and our community.
Yeah, I have to say we're not seeing the 2-kicker kickoff anymore. We'll see if we even see it next week. I don't know. Coach Drangwitz did not look happy with how it was executed tonight, as Will Catcher's going to boot that. Manuel's Tink Marshall is going to let that one go. Last time he didn't and set the Rams up right about the 14. But they're going to set up shop at the 25 here and see if they can maybe get some momentum, maybe a lengthy drive before the half, not let the ball get back in the Ironmen's hands.
And you see the Manuel hungry for some points, hungry to see some big plays. And if you're feeling hungry, if you want to take the family to a spot that the whole family will love, go to Green Gables at Lake Bloomington. It's open daily from 11 to 9, serving up world-famous smash burgers, full menu of fan favorites. Green Gables, proud supporter of the Green Ink Spot.
Can't say enough about Green Gables.
You really can't.
Tyree Porter and company going to set up shop at the 20 here. They got a new rhythm in those first couple drives. Oh, man, there's a botch stab, and Tyree Porter's going to fall on it.
I think it's the right thing to do.
I was going to say they got into a rhythm those first couple drives, but a rhythm that they really haven't seen since at all. With those first couple drives, though, they were going pass, but it was seeming to work. They were finding the soft spots in normal community secondary, maybe 4 or 5 air yards on each pass, but whatever they were doing, it was working. I don't know what they've gotten away from in these last few drives, just not executing the way they wanted to.
Yeah, I think the Ironmen really woke up and realized they should not be allowing that, and they want to strike fear into this offense and maybe make them keep it on the ground, make the air a dangerous zone.
A pretty good crowd here for the Ironmen on White Lies theme night.
That's right.
Probably the worst theme I've heard. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. I always love Hawaiian themes. It's always a great night.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
Or just the orange out. What happened to the orange out?
Well, yeah, you got to do that against crosstown rivals like West. They hate seeing orange. You want to get rid of that black and silver and show some orange. Maybe we'll see that when the Purple Raiders come in to Dick Tharp Field. Maybe we'll see a lot of orange. See an orange
I'd
out.
like to see orange or black. I was going to say a really big crowd, but not a lot of noise for the Ironman students actually tonight, even though we've had a lot to cheer about.
Yeah. Well, you listen to the band. They always do a great job. You're really getting into it.
Love it.
And at halftime, the cheer team will be bringing on some little ones. They're accompanying them at halftime for the halftime show. Stay tuned for
Hey,
that.
see some of the first teamers still coming out here. You got Micah Drangwitz in the secondary, Colton Lecomte, Murphy Brennan's still out there. I really just want those guys to stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's 42-0, 4:20 left in the second quarter.
Maybe Drangwitz and Coach Logue want to see more out of these first stringers. I feel like they have more to prove.
We'll give them one half.
Another whistle before the snap.
Yeah, another pre-snap penalty. Last week, Kankakee actually there was 30 combined penalties, 15 apiece. So Kankakee contributed that dirty laundry just as much as we did. And Manuel is following that script tonight as well. Even though we're supposed to have a running clock, I believe that goes into effect in the second half. But Tyree Porter's going to set up. They're going to run the ball again. Tink Marshall with his first carry of the night.
There's Demarion Gardner on the tackle, wrestling him down. He hurt his elbow early on, but he had 2 sacks last week. There's a tackle for loss. Great to see him back and healthy.
Yeah, Demarion Gardner was one of the guys that was able to keep Philip Turner in the backfield, not finding those running lanes. I feel like we had Philip Turner 4 or 5 times last week, and we just weren't able to get him down as he lofted it up to Cedric Taylor as he received the ball. But Philip Turner was able to just really dissect our defense, and I thought he played well for the majority of the game, even though they didn't score for those first 3 quarters.
Yeah, we saw him make a lot of pretty passes, just airing it out to Cedric Terrell last week.
Not even with zip on him, but they're just always in the right spot. Maybe maybe that was lucky, but maybe that's just the skill that he has. Emmanuel, Tyree Taylor is going to try to find their wide receiver 1, Makai Hill, on that and hit his hands. Tyree Taylor's probably going to want that one back. Tyree Porter, rather.
Yeah, Mitchell Potts almost came up with that interception. That would have been huge for him. He's made his impact on defense.
Looks like Manuel's in a very similar spot that they were in last drive. I think all they can ask for is to not have another pre-snap penalty here and maybe get this ball out and into the Ironman offense's hands.
Yeah. Luke Potts set about the 35-yard line to take this kick back. Yeah, you see again, 8 or 9 guys on the line for Ironman. They're trying to get the field goal or punt block rather here. Oh, and wide receiver leaves early.
I've never seen that.
Maybe the crowd is a little too loud. Can't hear the snap. He's on the road here.
I've never seen that. Both those guys are convinced the ball is in play. One of the things I just mentioned that Manuel really doesn't want a pre-snap penalty and put him on the 1, but that's exactly what happened. And I think actually a solid punt for Manuel there. It's going to put the ball on about the 35, and Luke Potts is going to let that one go.
You saw a defensive line there kind of let up, maybe some sportsmanship. That's great to see from Ironman. That's what we're really all about here in our community is sportsmanship and not really pouring it on them and running up that score. It's something Coach Drangwitz takes pride in, sportsmanship and leadership.
One of the pillars of this Ironman program and why we've had so much success. Talk about the last 2 years. 10-2 cumulative record last year, and we went 12-1 the year before. This Ironman program has risen to the upper echelon, the upper tier of Illinois high school football programs in the last 2 years. I mean, we've always been a program who's gotten to the playoffs, won 6 or 7 games every year, but this last 2 years, we've really taken it to the next level in the upper tier.
Yeah, and we've beaten some Chicago teams. It's great to see some of that. South I-80. Here's Kretzinger.
He's going to still be up.
Not going down.
Oh my gosh,
and
he's still up, and he's going to run that in the end zone. Wow. I think he broke 3 or 4 tackles on that play, and I am not sure how they didn't bring him down. But Cole Kretzinger with his 4th touchdown of the night, and that's probably going to conclude his day and the first team's offense day as a whole. 48-0 for the Ironman.
Yeah, I mean, they had 3 or 4 guys trying to bring him down, and he just would not. Kind of Cam Scadaboo-esque. We've seen that for the New York Giants.
I'd probably take a different comparison, but I like Cam Scadaboo.
Maybe Derrick Henry.
Maybe Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's lost a lot of games to the Ravens this year.
He's
lost 2 games to the Ravens.
See, the difference between Derrick Henry and Cole Kretzinger. Cole Kretzinger holds on to the ball.
That's right.
He does everything right.
Will Castro, 7 for 7 tonight on PATs. Good side to see for the Ironmen.
That is great to see. Pitched perfect for the field goal team today.
You see Michael Mavick getting out of their support. Hoping he's back next week. An injury that really wasn't disclosed to us when we interviewed Coach D on Monday morning. Didn't know that was a thing until we came here today and we saw Michael Mavick in the bucket hat. He's really important to what they do offensively. More on the deep threat side of things. Luke Potts accounts for some of those screens, some of those slants, but Michael Mavick can really haul it in when targeted down the field. And at his frame, it has his athleticism. Something we really need back for the Ironmen next week.
Yeah, he's got breakaway speed. Sometimes they give him the jet sweep, hand it off to him, or a little jet pass. And he can, when he hits that edge, he hits it hard. He's a track athlete. And yeah, that injury, not too much to worry about, just concussion protocol. They're playing it safe here, not trying to get any early signs of CTE or anything, you know.
Looks like the first team defense is going to come out here again. You're probably going to give them just the half to work and execute. Oh, here comes a
lateral
pitch. Trying to, from Tink Marshall to Mackay Hill. Trying to give the Ironmen a different look there on kickoff, but they're set up with the same field position they've had the last 3 kickoffs, and they're just inside the 10.
And is the Peoria Man and Rams set up shop on the 10-yard line. You want to take a look at the weekend for sports all across the country?
Yeah, I'd like to start with Illinois USC tomorrow. Just such a lackluster showing for Illinois last week. 63-10 against Indiana. I mean, that's a Big Ten top 20 matchup, and you go into Bloomington, you lay an egg like that. I hate to see that. I hate to see it. What do you think about tomorrow?
I think they're going to be coming out fired up. I think Coach Brett Bielema is not taking that lightly. I think he's getting his guys fired up. I think there's probably a message sent, maybe some up downs, maybe some suicide sprints from the Fighting Illini this week.
Yeah, I would not want to be an Illinois player on that Monday morning practice.
Yeah, no.
Talk about Iowa plays Indiana tomorrow. Indiana's coach Kurt Signetti actually said that this test at Iowa at Kinnick Stadium will be a far more challenging test than last week, kind of implying that Illinois wasn't as good as people thought and wasn't as good as that number 9 ranking said. And that's kind of what Illinois fans feel all along. As an Illinois fan my whole life, I think we're all skeptical when we're ranked like that.
Yeah.
I love Luke Altmaier. He didn't play badly last week. It wasn't on him. But what I'm most scared about is that Indiana just looked like they outmatched us athletically, and they just had better athletes. They had space in every passing situation, every running situation. So just really excited to see if they can bounce back tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, there was overrated chains ringing out through Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. I think the Fighting Illini are looking to prove that's not true, looking to prove they're not overrated.
Right, you were actually at the game.
I was, yeah. It was a rough showing for the Fighting Illini. And I know how mad I was about the performance, so if I was Brett Bielema, I'd be even more mad and getting my guys ready to take down USC, a ranked opponent. Big noon kickoff will be there.
Yeah, you highlight Ironman students. You know, Beckett Weber, he's a diehard Illinois fan, him and his dad, Derek Weber. But the three notable Illinois sporting events they've been to was the Illinois-Duke loss, in which Duke beat us by over 40 points, the loss on Saturday, and the UConn game where UConn went on a 30-0 run and beat us by 30.
Yeah.
So maybe we should tell Beckett Weber to stop going to those games.
Yeah. There's a lot of Ironmen that are fans of the Illini. It runs deep, and these football players look up to him. And when they have a loss like that, it just breaks their hearts. You got Oregon, Penn State, also in the Big Ten. Number 6 ranked Oregon, going against the Nittany Lions, number 3 ranked.
Yeah,
Two top Big Ten teams.
I'll say I don't think Oregon's ready for the whiteout on Saturday.
No.
I love watching the whiteout. I think they were playing Mo Bamba by Sheck West at Autzen Stadium to get ready for them. But I don't think you can replicate the noise that you get when you get inside of the whiteout.
Yeah, well, there's white
in Death Valley.
There's white in the crowd to really get going. You see that tonight. We got white in the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd's really into it tonight.
Crowd's not very into it.
Yeah.
49-0 game. A lot of cheer
not
about.
anymore.
Not cheering. We'll cut them some slack, but 13 seconds left for the Ironmen in the half. Some of the first teamers still out, some of them not out there.
See Pranab
23,
Bookie out there.
Pranab Bookie. Yeah, he's actually.
Hey, he's out there. He's got a couple of tackles against Urbana and Richwoods. He's gone in there and he's made his impact.
Jay Sweden's still out there. That's his 4th series out there for the Ironmen. This is the last play of this half. We'll see what Tyree Porter and company do here. He's going to lob it down the field. There's going to be no chance. Truett Meredith's going to actually bobble that pass and let it hit the ground. Maybe one he'd want for his stats, but nonetheless, Ironmen are going to go into the half 49-0. They executed, and it's 49-0.
Yeah, they did everything right there. There were some penalties, but they made up for it. They cleaned it up. All 3 phases did well and complement each other. The defense was setting up the offense, a great field position, and they were taking advantage of it.
Yeah, what I most like to see is that the offensive line and defensive line looked in sync for those last couple drives. You know, when all the first team was out there. And that's something that we really want to see out of the Ironmen, because communication is so key, and it's just settling in.
And real quick, we're going to step aside for the halftime show and give you a look at the Normal Community Ironman cheer team. We'll be right